The cost of living crisis now, the whole thing continues to escalate. Ministers grow increasingly critical of the Chancellor for his moderate economic measures during the spring statement last week.
Yeah, the Chancellor faced harsh criticism during the Commons Treasury Committee questions yesterday as the publication of the government's energy strategy plan has also been delayed. Questions are now swirling about whether or not planned April tax rises will still be viable.
Let's go to our economics and business editor, Liam Halligan, now for some home economics.
Morning to you. What did you make of the Chancellor's questioning yesterday? Did he appear sort of uncompromising, do you think?
He got an old-fashioned shoeing, a bit of a political kicking. It's certainly true, Isabel, that Dishy Rishi Sunak is no longer flavour of the month as he was during lockdown when he was handing out hundreds of billions of pounds for all those support measures. One Labour MP in particular, Siobhan McDonough, a Labour MP from Croydon in South London, she asked him poignantly, do you think the public are stupid, Chancellor, that his promised tax cut, a cut in the basic rate of income tax, comes in 2023, 2024, just in time for a general election? Siobhan McDonough made the point that a lot of Tory MPs have been privately making to me. We know this is the most serious cost of living crisis, unfortunately, since the early 1950s. We know that because that's what the Office for Budget Responsibility says, and they're the official fiscal watchdog. So why is the Chancellor raising taxes now? Why did he go ahead with that 1.25 percentage point increase in national insurance that comes in on April the 6th when the new tax year begins? It's being imposed on both employers and employees. So many Conservatives in particular see it as a tax on jobs. And many, both Labour and Tory MPs, again, are asking, why are benefits only going to go up in April by 3.1%, Isabel, at a time when inflation is officially forecast this year at 7.4%? So many people on benefits are lower income and most vulnerable households and families. They're seeing a real cut, a post-inflation cut in their incomes there if benefits are going up by less than inflation. So there's a sense that the Chancellor was being a bit too clever by half, raising taxes only to lower them again at a time when this cost of living squeeze, unfortunately, is getting tighter. And that was reflected at the Treasury Select Committee yesterday.
And Liam, just talk to us about what we can read into the delay of this energy security strategy. Is this a sign of sort of disagreements behind the scenes between number 10, number 11? This is a big ask, isn't it, of the Treasury?
We know, of course, that the Russia-Ukraine war and the ongoing economic standoff between Russia and the West with sanctions we've put on Moscow and Moscow's countermeasures, they're playing havoc on global commodity markets because Russia is a commodity exporting superpower and Ukraine exports lots of commodities as well. But the most important, the most high profile of those commodities are, of course, oil and gas. Wholesale gas prices and oil prices have gone up a lot. That's led to concerns about Britain's energy security. We import too much energy. And so the government said it's going to come up with a new strategy moving towards more nuclear, towards more North Sea oil and gas. And when I interviewed Kwasi Kwarteng, the Business and Energy Secretary, just a couple of weeks ago, he told me in no uncertain terms that that energy strategy security review would be coming out like now, this week, just after the spring statement. And now it's been delayed again. And that's because there are very serious negotiations going on within government. And the main tension that I'm hearing about, Isabel, is the tension between wanting to help ordinary households, particularly on those household utility bills, which we know are going up, unfortunately, from April onwards, on the one hand, and on the other hand, the so-called net zero agenda, wanting to focus on renewables, which are more long-term. So there is a lot of tension within government. You'll remember the COP26 summit last autumn, where there was all that chest beating about wanting to hit those net zero targets. It now seems that the emphasis should be on energy security rather than on what some people would call environmental virtue signalling. But that environmental emphasis does still have huge numbers of supporters within government, not least the Prime Minister himself. And I think that's where the tension can be found.
Liam Halligan, as always, thank you. He'll be back with On the Money at 1 o'clock today. See you soon.